Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Akia from I Can't Make This Ish Up. And I know it's been way too long since I've recorded and posted anything, but I'm going to use this opportunity to reintroduce myself, all right, and bring my podcast back. It's been maybe 9 months since my last episode was posted, and I'm ready to get back in the grind of things. So first, let me say thank you to everybody who's been asking me when my next episode is going to post, because you asking me these questions and being anxious for the next episode has kind of like kicked me in the butt and made me decide that, I need to bring this back, right? So I'm bringing it back, but I'm going to use this opportunity to reintroduce myself, reintroduce my podcast, and summarize my 2019, because 2019 was busy, but in a positive way. Like, I can't even complain about 2019 at all. I could just say that 2019 was full of growth. It was full of learning experiences, and it was full of new things. And it's only going to make 2020 that much greater as long as I stay on the glide path. So I'm Akia. I am currently serving in the United States Army. I have been doing so for the last 14 years. I am a 92 Yankee trained, what do you want to call it? I'm the senior logistician because I'm the Brigade S4 currently. I love the Army. I love everything that it stands for. I love the camaraderie. I love the extended family that I create myself. I love the relationships that I gain, and I love the relationships that I've lost because I've learned something through those losses. And all right, so let's get into it. 2019 was a great year. Okay, 2019 was a year of more self-discovery, because 2018, 17, 16, 15, they were all full of roller coaster experiences, if I may say so myself. But 2019, oh my goodness. So I used 2019 as an opportunity to start new journeys, to build wealth for myself and generational wealth to exceed me and bleed into my children and my children's children, and prayerfully all of the bricks that I lay down for my foundation continue well into 10 generations and further. So, of course, I started my podcast back in 2018, right? Yeah, I think I started it back in 2018, but I was never really consistent, which sucked, right? Because that's just something I've been trying to grab a hold of, is consistency. And that's what I'm going to label my 2020 is the year of consistency. So I started my podcast. I started a blog. Now, I started my blog years ago on different platforms, but I kind of became more consistent 2018, 2019, and then I fell off, right? Because I decided to start a whole bunch of other ventures, blah, blah, blah. So I started my podcast. I started my blog. I was going to school for my master's in industrial and organizational psychology, and I had just started in my new position at work as the Brigade S4, which came with its own challenges. And then I was like, you know what? I literally had a dream about having a handmade jewelry business, and I started it. I had a dream, woke up, went on Amazon and started buying all the supplies that I needed in order to make it a real thing. And I have been doing that since June of 2019 up until currently. I'm going to be launching my website officially within the next 24 hours, actually, and just continuing to allow that business to grow. But with all of these business ventures that I've started underneath my umbrella of Empower Us, it has taught me a lot about myself. I know that I have the ability to do great things. But a lot of people say that it's very difficult to be great at a lot of things all at once. And I believe that to a certain degree. I think that in order for me to be successful in all of those things, some things in my life will have to kind of take a pause. But the things that are important to me will not have to take a pause. And one of the most important things in my life currently is being a mother. That will never have to take a pause. Everything else will have to take a pause. And I'm okay with that. They are things that are important, but not as important as me being a mother and me creating generational wealth. And 2019 kind of helped me to catapult that and start to bring some of those successes into fruition. I don't know why I keep saying 2019. Whatever, y'all know, last year, I decided that I was going to take like some steps and maybe date, I guess, if you could say that. Wasn't really successful, but I also wasn't really dedicated. Like, on one hand, like in the beginning of the year, I was like, nah, I ain't really trying to date. I'm just kind of like trying to like live my life because I don't got time to be playing them games. And then one day I woke up, I was like, oh, I want to cuddle. It's so cold out here, right? So I decided to try and date. I wasn't successful, okay? Like, because I think I was still like confused. I didn't know what I wanted. And that requires you to be honest with yourself. And I was honest with myself. I was like, I want to be in a relationship, but not really sure if I want relationship responsibilities. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to deal with having to check in with somebody, having to be considerate of other people's feelings, having to kind of run my moves by somebody else. It's just a lot that comes with a relationship that I just didn't want to do at the time. So it kind of made for a rocky transition into the dating world. But I tried that. I learned a lot about myself professionally. I was put in a few positions where people had to find me out. And I do my best to try and be what the Army would call tactful, right? I have a way with words, and I've always had a way with words. Being a writer and being a spoken word artist and all of those, and just loving to talk in general, I have a way with words. But in the Army, I didn't really consider how my words would come across to somebody else. It was kind of like, hey, this is what I got to say. This is how I feel. This is what I mean. Accept it or don't. But last year, I was actually very good at finding out exactly how to apply tact. Now, a lot of people that have known me in my career, the young me was not very tactful. I was rough around the edges. As I progressed in my career, I learned a little bit more, and now I've kind of gotten a lot better than I was when I was younger. So I learned about myself professionally. I learned about myself as becoming a co-parent, if you could call it that. I was recently, I don't even know if you say recently divorced. Been separated for almost 2 years. And then my divorce was finalized, February, end of January of 2019. So it took forever, but we got there. That chapter is closed, but everything comes with a healing process. So I'll talk more about that on another episode. But I learned more about myself on that aspect. And co-parenting is not the easiest thing if the relationship didn't end on a good note. I applaud those of you who can co-parent and be best friends. That is beautiful. I was looking at people's faces. I'm like, damn, that's nice. That's cute. Oh, y'all at each other's weddings? Bitch, I wish you... Don't do it. Don't invite me to not a damn nothing. I'm not ready for it. I'm not mature enough right now. Maybe I am, but I don't want to be. That's just how I feel right now. So, boop, there's that. But I mean, I got better at dealing with the situation and not allowing, what we went through to dictate all of my decisions. But I can't lie and say that some of my decisions were not dictated by what we went through. I think that's just human nature, right? Because you have to learn from what you experienced in order not to make the same mistakes twice. And you also have to remember how people move so that you understand what you need to do to protect yourself in the future. So with that, I mean, I didn't necessarily use my experiences in a negative way, but I definitely used it in a manner where I was protected. School. I was going to school, living my best life, taking my classes so I could be great, right? I was using my tuition assistance. Now, I go to the University of Phoenix. They are expensive, but I love the school. I've been going there since my associates. I trust them. I had a wonderful guidance counselor when I first started, and she retired. We remained friends, and because of her, I trust that school like no other. Not because of the school, but because of her and the relationship that we established. Now, my tuition assistance did not cover all of my classes, like all the money, right? So I was like, okay, cool. Use my, financial aid. Well, something happened. Financial aid didn't go through all the way. I don't know. It was a lot of weird stuff going on. And then finally I was like, okay, well, we'll do the top up. We'll use my GI Bill, cover that so I can continue on my classes. Back and forth, back and forth. Long story short, they still ain't figured it out yet. I'm still not in class, and I got a bill in the mail. I'm like, yo, y'all not getting the money from me. Like, you need to get that from my GI Bill or pull that from financial aid. So I'm gonna call them maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't know, to figure that out. I really hope my bracelet is not click clacking inside this doggone microphone. I'll just talk with this one hand because I'm a hand talker, right? So there's that. But yeah, so I couldn't take any more classes because we're still trying to figure out this financial thing. And IKEA does not have $3,000 to be paying nobody. So we're just going to have to figure that out. So since I stopped taking my classes and I had this wonderful dream about starting a handmade jewelry business, I kind of dedicated my time to that. So I started that up. First, it was just bracelets, and then it became anklets, and then it became waist beads, and now I'm venturing into necklaces, and I'm venturing into the metal bracelets like these. All right? Oh, yeah. Ooh. What's that? Can you see that? It says never. It says never give up. Right? So I kind of ventured into that, and then I ventured into sage and crystals and essential oils, and then I'm looking at some bohemian chic furniture, hammocks, chairs, rugs, wraps, dresses, shoes, things like that. And I'm going to add all of those to my website here in the near future. And then I'm also studying Reiki, so Reiki healing. So I'm also going to incorporate that into a home-based business and also coming to others to do those things. Because I've always been a really holistic person. And now I've kind of found my niche, right? Niche, that. And yeah, so did that. Well, currently still doing that. Still being pissed off about not being able to go to school yet. Oh. But I am currently studying to improve my GT score, which in my mind, I've been studying for 14 years because I kept saying I was going to raise this doggone GT score since 2005. And I ain't do it yet. I'm at a 101. I need a 110 in order to open the doors of opportunities that I need, blah, blah, blah. I have not fully dedicated myself to the process. So after this, I am going to go and take my pre-test to get my life together so that I can find out where my shortfalls are and where I need to apply most of my study time. And I'm also studying for the Sgt Murphy Club board, which happens every quarter. And in my spirit, I wanted to be ready the second quarter? But I'm not. I'm more than likely going to wait till the third quarter. And I figured since I'm not in college or not able to take classes right now, I can apply that collegiate time to studying for my ASVAB and also studying for the Sgt Murphy Club board and making this time count. So, it's a mouthful. It's a lot. But I think that me kind of applying all of my free time into doing the things that make me happy and bring me joy is more beneficial than me like focusing on one thing at a time. Even though I guess if I focus on one thing at a time, I could perfect it. But anybody got time for that? I got too many things I'm trying to do, and I'd rather start a little bit in a whole lot of places and build on that little bit over time than like do a lot of it in one place and then die and not have an opportunity to do the rest. Very dark, but I mean, that's life. Life is too short. I don't got time to be focused on one thing. I need my legacy to be broad and huge, and this is one way for me to do that. I hope y'all didn't hear me just scratch my head. I've also spent a lot of 2019 supporting small businesses, and it is amazing. Like, people are so talented, and it's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing to see people really start like honing in on their talents and making money off of it. So like my turban is from a friend of mine. Her name is Ebony. She lives here where I'm stationed, and her company is called Artistry Bows. And she also has another company called EBSM Soaps and More. And she makes amazing products. I mean, this is just one of two of the turbans that I have, right? Oh, no, yeah, one of two of the turbans, but she's also given me some head wraps. And most people know me. They know I will wrap my hair up in a minute. But her head wraps aren't like full wraps. So they're always like little headband style, and which I like because I can still display my locks, you know, and still have my hair up in a somewhat protective style because I use bobby pins, but I try not to catch too much of the root. I try to just like stick it into the thick parts of my rolls. And I mean, I've gotten face soaps from her, body soaps, yoni steams. Like, she's just amazing. I have a cousin. She also has her own natural business. It's called Natural by Nadej, and she sells like charcoal, the black charcoal toothpaste, bamboo toothbrushes, beard oils. I want to say like mouthwash, like natural mouthwash, natural deodorant. I think shampoos and conditioners. I haven't purchased that stuff, but I have purchased the toothpaste from her, which I love. I need to actually reorder some more so I can keep my pearly whites, right? I don't know if I can figure out how to do like a ding, but if I do, you're going to see it. Ding. And what am I doing? I wrote a book, y'all. Bruh. So 2019, I collaborated with 19 other phenomenal women under Camouflage Sisters, and we all came together and shared our stories of our experiences while serving in the military as women. And that book is called Behind the Rank Volume 3, right? And we got to share our story from our point of view with no questions asked and no holds barred. Like, we were able to just go ahead and share and lean on one another for support while we shared, because some of our stories were personal in nature, and some of them kind of exposed certain parts of us that we may not have otherwise felt comfortable to do without the support of our sisters. And that's a beautiful thing in the military, because it wasn't just Army women, it was Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines. Like, all of us came together in this book and we all shared our stories. They were from women of all rank structures. We're talking warrants, commissioned officers, and enlisted. We came together, we shared our story, and it's just, it was a beautiful project to be a part of. Lila Holly is the founder of Camouflage Sisters, and this is, I want to say, her last book throughout all of the books that she has published over the last few years. And I am blessed and honored to have been a part of that project and a part of that legacy, because that will live on well past the time that I, transitioned to the other side. And yeah, so that book completed the summer of 2019 and was released January 17th of 2020, but pre-sales were available December 2019. So I'm claiming this in my 2019, and my recap in 2021 for 2020 will also cover this book. But yeah, so like I said, 2019, I can't complain. I cannot complain. And I need some water. My throat's a little dry. Oh, I don't know if I can have the water on. I don't know how that works, and I'm not trying to get nobody to snatch my little video down because they see what type of water I'm drinking. Nobody got time to play the game. I guess I could have just took the wrapper off. Oh well. Anyways, again, I want to welcome you guys back to my podcast. I want to welcome any new followers, new subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit the subscription button below. Look for the links also inside the description block for any other platforms that you can get this podcast on. Listen to it on your way to work. Listen to it in the shower. Listen to it on the toilet. Listen to it while you're putting your baby to bed. Just listen. Tune in and listen. If you can't watch, tune in on the audios only on Google and Apple and Spotify and blah, blah, boop, blah, bop. The links will be below. And if you can watch, right? Because I've had people that were listening to my podcast and they were like, oh, you should record yourself speaking too. And I was like, that requires me to like get dressed and do my makeup and look like a human. I don't be looking real put together all the time. But I went somewhere today and I was like, you know what? It's about time. So here it is. Thank you guys so much for giving me the motivation to bring my podcast back. I am super excited for 2020. I'm super excited for my podcast, and I'm excited to continue sharing with you guys. So be great, stay blessed, love and light, all of that. You know, Kia, I can't make this ish up. Peace.